This is Naoki Yoshida, producer of Final Fantasy XVI, and welcome
Yoshi
to
P.
the State of Play.
I'm familiar.
Today, I'm here to talk a little bit about the story, world, and
familiar with Yoshi P because he's the lead producer on Final Fantasy XIV as well, and it sounds like Koji Fox is doing the voiceover. You can just hear his voice.
Combat system of Final Fantasy XVI, as well as reveal all new information regarding the game.
I'm actually going to speed this up a bit because we don't need it to be 1.5 is good.
Game's wide variety of RPG elements and support systems. We'll be talking you through everything while using never-before-seen gameplay footage running on the PlayStation 5.
I do feel I don't want to go through this whole thing because I do feel we've seen a lot of this game already. We have an idea of what it is. It's an action RPG that focuses heavily on the action part. It's closer to a Devil May Cry in terms of gameplay than any previous Final Fantasy. Like even 15 was sort of, went to the direction of action RPG, but this seems to like pretty much like you'll have RPG elements where you'll kind of like most games have RPG elements at this point. Where you kind of like you have a skill tree, you level up your stats or whatnot. But there's something, they're not just turn-based or, whatever. But yeah, this game, we've seen a lot of this game. I don't think we need to see too much more, especially after the PAX panel from a couple weeks ago. The PAX panel kind of like was a blowout of everything. So, or maybe like a month ago at this point. But, so yeah, there are some like, I don't really know what questions I would have about this game. Like I'm mostly focused on the story and the world of the game. Like the gameplay looks phenomenal, and the set pieces, the fight with the summons, I forget what they're calling them, Eidolons, or Eidolons, icons. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know what this is.
Hope you'll stay with us until the end of the show and enjoy everything we have in store for you. With that, let's get started.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant. And only the dominant. Focus, Wyvern. You are key to this mission's success.
Yes, Sergeant.
I said focus, Wyvern.
Home sweet home.
Allow me to welcome you to the world of Final Fantasy XVI. Final Fantasy XVI is the latest installment in the Final Fantasy series, a storied franchise with 35 years of history. Yet while this is the 16th mainline title in the series, there's absolutely no need to have played any of the previous games before jumping in. With a fusion of real-time action and RPG features, Final Fantasy XVI has been developed as the first true action RPG in the series. Using the power of the PlayStation 5 to its fullest, the game delivers an expansive, thrilling gameplay experience which we liken to a high-speed roller coaster ride.
That sounded very 14.
The protagonist of our story is Clive Rosfield, and his journey takes place in the realm of Valisthea. We follow the epic tale of Clive, Shield of the Grand Duchy of Rosaria, as it unfolds across 3 distinct periods in our hero's life: his teens, 20s, and 30s.
R.I.P.
While the story begins with Clive in his 20s, a fully playable flashback will allow you to experience the pivotal events that shaped his past and present. And thus does the curtain open on this newest Final Fantasy adventure.
Them taking the main character through different periods, like 20s, teens, and then 30s, that reminds me of Final Fantasy Tactics, which I know Yoshi P is a big fan of the Ivalice games. He has featured them, like that story, and the creator Matsuno. He's featured them in 14 as well, and this this definitely seems like a very Tactics Evolution inspired world and game. So it's very cool that we'll see this main character through different periods. Because we saw Ramza, the main character of Final Fantasy Tactics, he kind of grew and changed throughout the story. It started with us playing as the like, I guess he was in his 20s, and then we went back to his teens. Of course, it was only like a mission. Then we went back to his teens, and then we went forward again. So this will be very cool to see. I wonder how much of teenage Clive we will play as. That's one thing I'm curious about. And like, will the things you do in each period carry over to the next? And how does he grow between those periods as well? Like, how does he change beyond, like, because we're not going to see every single bit of his transformation from teens to 20s to 30s. Like, will we be able to will we feel the change in him and in the world as, like, you know, after 10 years have passed? Let's slow this down a bit because there's actual gameplay. But they said this is the first action RPG in the Final Fantasy series. Like I said, 15 kind of tippy-toed towards that, although it did feel 15 was a little bit slow. Like, this seems closer to a Kingdom Hearts than previous Final Fantasy games. Which we wanted a Kingdom Hearts kind of combat system in a Final Fantasy game for a long time. So, and this seems to be going towards that. I'm more curious about like what the upgrades and like the leveling up and all that kind of stuff, what that looks like in this game, because we've seen plenty of the combat. Like, we get the gist at this point. Also, like, side content in this game. What kind of side content is there going to be beyond, like, I know they said, no, it's going to be like arenas and scoring and that kind of thing, similar to what you see in DMC. But, like, are we going to be doing like hunts or like side quests, or are we how much is the world open? Like, I know they kind of like, will you be going from one town to another, and then like each area, like the town acts as a hub for each period in the game? I'd be curious about that.
Clive,
Finish now! Phoenix! Joshua!
Brutal. Here we go. That's what we're looking for.
Navigation in Final Fantasy XVI is driven via a world map, with locations being added and updated as players progress through the main narrative. The world map can be opened at any time, allowing players access to all manner of locations across Valisthea.
This game
Here,
looks so
players
amazing,
will
though.
meet new friends, encounter formidable foes, and uncover great and wondrous mysteries.
See, there's a lot of this. I don't want to see too much of the environments, because like I like experiencing that sort of thing when I'm playing the actual game.
In real time and are not turn-based. As Clive progresses through the story, he will learn a wide array of exciting abilities from the icons that he encounters.
That's what I figured. It
Now,
seems like
let's take a moment
this is going to be like sort of like a Mega Man, where you defeat an icon, you get some abilities from it, and it sounds like you can upgrade them and whatnot.
to admire Clive in action.
looks like Muhammad. So I wonder if you'll be, this is like DMC where you'll be able to like shift between different icon abilities and that sort of thing in the middle of combat. Like I wonder if you'll have to like equip certain ones. Rhyme. That sounds like Shiva. A lot of this does look like Kingdom Hearts to me. Like, it's very flashy. Not to say Devil May Cry isn't sort of flashy as well, but this looks like just a bunch of stuff that you kind of like. I wonder how much input you actually have into the combat, which I like Kingdom Hearts combat quite a bit, especially Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. I think they're really good, and like most of the input the character has is based on like timing and that kind of thing. So I'm curious how that works for here. I also wonder if there's some sort of job change. We do see him using different weapons, and I'm curious if that's like, are there job changes in the game? Kamehameha. He has a Kamehameha wave. Obviously, it's Giga Flare, which is Bahamut, but it's a Kamehameha. Let's be honest. Let's take a look. So you have these are his stats. Will you be able to upgrade them in some way or another? These are the abilities. Like, do you equip them? This is obviously Phoenix, and you have Garuda, and then you have Ramu.
The abilities that Clive wields have unique characteristics depending on the icon they are derived from. Players can use ability points collected by defeating enemies to unlock more abilities or upgrade existing ones. Can't decide which iconic ability to unlock or upgrade? No problem. You can let the game choose for you. Final Fantasy XVI includes a range of timely accessories to.
So some of this kind of reminds me almost of a CRPG or a Western RPG. The upgrade systems with like the different the skill trees and whatnot. You don't really see that too much in JRPGs. That's more of a Western RPG thing. So, and it can get a little bit unwieldy. It can get overwhelming if you have too much of that. So I'm glad that they have a quick select kind of feature. Because this almost reminds me the skill tree kind of reminded me of Dragon Age a little bit.
Provide support to those players who may not be so skilled at action games, bringing them a truly enjoyable experience. Players are encouraged to equip Clive with different combinations of these accessories until they find the one that perfectly matches their own playstyle. A combination I can particularly recommend to those who may struggle with action gameplay is the Ring of Timely Focus and the Ring of Timely Strikes. This combination allows players to unleash a wide array of different techniques just by pressing a single attack button, as well as shifting into a window of slow motion whenever Clive is about to be hit by an attack, giving them a little extra time to hit R1 and evade. Alternatively, players could equip an accessory that fully automates evasion. As I said before, I really encourage everyone to discover the combination that works best for them. And for those who want to concentrate on the story, don't forget to choose Story Focus Mode before starting a new game. In this mode, timely accessories are automatically equipped from the start, allowing players to immerse themselves in the narrative experience without having to worry too much with the action.
I like that they're giving, more casual players a chance to experience the game without having to focus too much and experience like the combat and how nice it looks beyond just like some games will have a casual mode, but you won't be able to see the full experience when you're playing like that, which it seems like this game kind of does, at least from a visual standpoint.
Clive will meet many characters along his journey who will join him as friends and allies.
This place. These are fallen ruins.
Well, we didn't think they'd mind. And it keeps the black from our lungs.
But how do you survive without magic?
Sidolphus, who becomes a mentor to Clive.
He's our Sid.
Jill, a friend from Clive's youth.
It really is.
Such encounters and reunions will set Clive on a path of great personal growth.
It is.
Clive!
Some of these companions will even accompany Clive on his adventures, fighting alongside him and finding lots to talk about along the way.
One thing I'm curious about is does each region have, or each period of his life have their own set of companions, sort of like Kingdom Hearts, not to reference that again, but where you go through two different worlds, you have like a new party members and that kind of thing. It would be pretty cool if you have different parties members just based on where you are in the world. Like say there's there's different wars going on or different fronts of a war, and like someone is like stationed to an area, and then when Clive goes to the area, they can accompany him, or he can accompany them on whatever they're doing. So it makes sense that like someone might be stuck in a certain area, but you can still hang out and do things with them. And I also wonder if you have any influence over what kind of equipment and abilities they use.
That said, players will only need to focus on controlling Clive. Party members are fully AI-driven, providing support for the hero and constantly adapting and responding to his actions.
Looks like Ramu. I like me a rapier. I hope Clive can use a rapier. Shiva.
Oh, and we cannot forget Torgal. A smart, strong, and fiercely loyal hound, Torgal is always by Clive's side and willing to stand by him in the face of whatever cruel fate may befall them. Torgal will act of his own accord, but players can also give him direct commands. Just don't forget to give this good boy some treats every now and then.
Goots,
Pet the dog.
get her upstairs.
Coots.
None will...
Don't fret about Karen. I've taken care of her fee.
All of it?
She's the best healer this side of the belt. You've nothing to worry about. Go on, have a look around. I'll be in my solo.
After progressing somewhat through the game, Clive will gain access to Sid's hideaway. Here in the hideaway, Clive will find a shop where he can purchase new weapons, armor, and consumables such as potions.
You'll not find a better price than that.
Well,
Blackthorn, a highly skilled blacksmith, works the Hideaway's forge. Bring in materials to craft new gear or upgrade existing items. After upgrading your equipment or unlocking new abilities, try accessing the Arete Stone.
So Sid's Hideaway looks like it's going to be the player hub, which does make me curious, like what our experience will be going into different towns. I prefer Final Fantasy, honestly, when we have a variety of different locations to go in and we can buy equipment, we can chat with NPCs, that kind of thing. So I hope that still remains in the game.
Here, players can enter.
Although this also seems a little bit Dark Souls inspired, because obviously you have the Firelink Shrine and Dark Souls that we kind of build out and that kind of thing. And there's a lot of, you have your blacksmith in the game, and you can upgrade your equipment and all that.
A virtual training area outside the bounds of time and space, where they are free to refine and practice combos of their very own. Once you're confident in your skills, try your hand at arcade mode and see how your scores stack up against players from around the world.
Not to get too much into the Dark Souls thing, but I would like they already have some online features. I would like to see some I don't think we need necessarily multiplayer in the game, but I would like to see like ghosts of other players, that kind of thing, and like see how they died in the world and all that. Which is a Dark Souls, Soulsborne
The
feature.
Hideaway is home to a lot of other features as well. Not only will players discover a variety of side quests here, but they can also view information on quests offered all around Valisthea.
All right, Clive. Still busy saving the world?
Mid. When did you get back?
Moogles. Looks like I got bored for hunts and whatnot.
I wasn't
maybe.
expecting you back so soon.
Visit the hunt board to gain information on elite marks, fearsome foes lurking about the realm in desperate need of slaying. The Moogle will be your guide.
I'm also curious if, since it's an action RPG, will you be able to do level 1 runs and that kind of thing? That would be pretty cool. How much does your level influence your ability to progress? Ahriman. Anyone who's played Final Fantasy knows about this enemy.
There's also Lordesman Harpocrates, who will unlock Valisthea's secrets as Clive recounts tales of his adventures.
I like the classic sprites for characters in the game. This sort of reminds me a little bit of 14. You have the bard or whatever, the minstrel. Can you tell it? But I wonder if what this does exactly for progress in the game, or what influence it has beyond just a bar you progress.
Quite the find for you today. You wish to study the tomes?
As the minstrel in 14, you pretty much go back to him after you've completed something, and then he gives you a harder version of that same boss or mission or whatever.
Here for another of my lectures.
And Vivian Ninetails,
What is it that
a
you wish
scholar
to
and
learn?
strategist who will be
Here's the
more
latest
than happy
information
to
I have.
explain to Clive the current state of the realm and provide information on key players. There are all kinds of interactions and features in the Hideaway to
I like this kind of stuff, seeing maps of how and trees of how everything is connected. that's very cool that they would add that into the game. Taken captive by the Empire, Clive does all in his power to save his brother and father from the Imperial infiltrators, but alas, it is not enough. That's kind of
So
spoilers.
players get even more enjoyment out of their time with Final Fantasy
Is
XVI.
ever changing, Clive.
On his travels, Clive will encounter a wide array of fearsome foes.
This being Fafnir, and usually Fafnir is a wolf. I don't know what this is. This looks not like a wolf. It looks almost like a giant rodent sort of looking enemy. Lots of quick time in this game, I will say that. Especially with the icon fights.
He will, of course, clash with the dominants who wield the power of the icons. Colossal beasts who hold the surrounding lands under their sway.
Classic dragon.
Mysterious constructs of the fallen, a civilization shrouded in mystery.
It is nice to see that there is going to be some sort of, futuristic thing going on, which is classic for Final Fantasy. I don't want them to lose that part. Like, they're even in the classic, ones that happen in like high fantasy or medieval times, there's usually some sort of element of technology that's still present. So this is nice to see. 14 has that. Final Fantasy IV has that. So. This looks like the Ifrit boss arena from 14. That looks like Odin, so I imagine that's the dominant for Odin.
Cannot forget the icons themselves. Experience unparalleled real-time action combat as Clive takes command of the iconic might coursing through his veins and shatters his very limits. The shining point of Final Fantasy XVI, however, has to be the breathtaking icon versus icon battles.
So one of the primary things that we've seen in the game so far is Ifrit, and he seems to be like Clive's main icon that he uses in a lot of battles. But we see him, or at least we see Phoenix here, so I'm wondering how much is there Phoenix, how what's the relationship between Phoenix? We know Phoenix is Joshua's, which seems to be his brother. Joshua's icon, and it seems something happens to Joshua. So maybe Clive takes Phoenix from Joshua when that happens.
These epic confrontations all play out in real time, allowing players to control their very own icon with their own hands. These battles differ depending on the icon encountered, and every showdown is unique, right down to gameplay. Players will experience everything from a 3D scrolling shooter to a heavyweight wrestling match with devastating attacks that encompass the entire battlefield.
I do hope there are icons we haven't actually seen, though.
Are entirely
Like maybe there's Alexander or even a unique icon, because we've all seen like Bahamut, we've seen Ifra, we've seen Shiva, we've seen Odin, Titan, the typical Final Fantasy summons being represented. But I'd like to see more than that, and I hope we do.
entirely seamless, and I can promise you heart-stopping, controller-gripping excitement. I can't wait for you to get your hands on the game for yourself.
Nice trick. But if you can do it, then so could I!
It almost reminds me of the game Asura's Wrath, like these icon battles, like where they're mostly QT or something like that, but they're very cinematic and allows them to display something pretty cool and unique and big in scale. Yeah, it does remind me of Asura's Wrath. Anyone's familiar with that game? It's a pretty crazy game, but.
So everyone, what did you think? Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Final Fantasy XVI will be...
The game looks great. No lie about that. No doubt about that. Yeah, that's pretty much all you can really say about at the end of that. I mean, the icon battles are probably my least favorite part of the game so far that I've seen. I think the combat outside of that looks really good. It feels like the icon battles are, set pieces, and they are really cool to watch, but they don't seem like very fun to play so far. I'll have to see for myself, obviously, when the game comes out. But that's the main thing. Everything else looks phenomenal. I love the environments. I love the gameplay outside of the icon battles, what it looks like. I love the action RPG-ness, and I'm super excited. It's probably like it goes like Tears of the Kingdom and then and then Final Fantasy 16. Those are the top 2 games. But obviously, other games I want to play. I want to play Diablo 4, Street Fighter 6, Jedi, Survivor. But yeah, these are the two big ones for me. Anyway, thanks for watching if you were, and see you next time. Bye bye.